All right, we're live. John, we're live.
Awesome. Good morning.
Cool. Good morning, man. Thanks for doing this with me. I know this is going to bring a lot of people some good value. So, hey, everybody, this is Josh Rogers and John Owen with Movement Mortgage. And he and I are going to be going through some starter questions through the home buying process and also the loan approval process. And so, John is with Movement Mortgage. You're an absolute stud. How long have you been in the industry?
Since 2002.
All right, wow. So you've gone through a lot of different markets. You've seen a ton of things come and go. And what I love about that is a long-term track record says a lot, especially in your industry, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Started with a subprime industry, saw it crash, sold rates into 12, 13%, as low as a 3%. So I've seen it all.
Excellent. Okay, good. So you bring a lot of experience to the table. So let's just start off very, very basic. I know when I'm talking with a lot of friends and even going through the home buying process, when my wife and I bought a home, our biggest hesitation and fear was the fear of the unknown. And when you think about borrowing hundreds of thousands of dollars, the biggest investment of many of our lives, it's intimidating, right? And we
Very.
find ourselves, our head just spinning, and we're like, where the heck do we start? Okay, so let me just ask you on a very basic level, John, what does somebody do to start just the home loan and home mortgage process? What would you say?
Yeah, the first thing to do is contact a good lender. Obviously, if you have an agent already, they're going to encourage you to do that as well. But more or less just contacting somebody, asking basic questions. We can do either applications over the phone. You can do applications online. If you're very new to the approval process and the home buying process, first-time home buyer, I would recommend doing an application over the phone with a loan officer, like myself. That way we can kind of walk you through the questions, the steps. It's a very simple process if you have the right people working with you. If you try to do everything on your own, it can be a nightmare, because you
So,
don't really know what to expect next.
yes. So, John, let me ask you this, man. Let's whittle it down even more. When you say contact a lender, how would you go about identifying somebody? Yeah, I mean, because if I Google, mortgage lender, man,
Right.
you and I know the sharks are out there. So,
Correct.
what would you recommend for somebody searching for that first person to contact?
That's a good question. If you already have a real estate agent, in most cases they're going to have their go-to person, especially if they've been in the industry for a little while. They're going to have somebody they trust. A lot of people usually start off with their credit union or their bank. If they have a relationship with the bank, I noticed a lot of people would go them first. Um, Other than that, the best thing to do would be ask around, maybe some friends or other folks that have bought some houses, previously, that have had a good interaction with a loan officer or a lender. That would be the best place to start, is getting a referral from somebody that's gone through the process and had a good experience.
Gotcha. And let me ask you this other question. Would you say just talking and speaking with one person is good enough, or do you recommend multiple? What's your opinion?
It depends on how the interaction goes. I've had numerous people over the years that have told me, you got to have somebody that's going to be available. That's one thing I pride myself on, is always being available via email or cell phone, always there to answer a question or get back very quickly. A lot of times what I find is people will go days, sometimes even a week, without getting a response from somebody. At that point, if that happens, if you can't get a response in a few hours, I would definitely encourage to look for someone else, because if they're not going to keep you involved and keep you up to date and be available for you in a very stressful, can be a stressful process, I would definitely inquire, some other folks.
hmm Okay. So go off of referrals, go off of real estate agents who have done transactions with other people that they know and trust. I like that. What other steps would you say are included on the very initial stages of getting started with a home loan and mortgage?
Basic steps would just, kind of outline a budget. If you're, a lot of times, people are comfortable paying rent, but a lot of times you can qualify for a mortgage payment that is a lot less than what you're paying in rent, and you have your own house and everything else. So I think the first thing to do would just be kind of, put some stuff on paper, see what you're paying in rent, and find a payment that you're comfortable, paying, and then go after that type of payment, and it can be attainable.
Okay. And whenever they talk to that person on the other end of the phone, or they're filling out an application, what kind of questions are they going to be asked? Should they be prepared for?
Absolutely. The basic questions, they're going to want to know your 2-year residency history, where you've lived for the last 2 years. They're going to want to know your employment history for the last 2 years, what type of income you receive, monthly, where all the different income is coming from, whether it's Social Security, a pension, a W-2 job, if you're self-employed. So mainly just a 2-year work history, 2-year residency history, where you've lived for the last 2 years. That is the basic information. Obviously, your date of birth, your Social Security number to pull credit. Credit is important to find out what you qualify for. Those are the basic, just information. Any reserves or assets that you may have put away will always strengthen your case in getting approved. So those are the basic things they really look at, is just 2-year history, 2-year residency, any income or assets, obviously date of birth and social for credit. Those are the main components of getting started.
Okay, and should somebody feel hesitant about providing that information? When anybody talks about a Social Security number, it's a little touchy subject sometimes.
Absolutely. If you're not comfortable with the person you're speaking to on the other end, if they have not gained your trust, or I would definitely hesitate. If you don't feel comfortable at all, I would talk to somebody until you feel comfortable giving that information. Especially if somebody just goes quick after it and doesn't really take the time to ask you the proper questions as far as what your goals are, what you're looking to do, how soon you're looking to do it. If you're not looking to really move for 6 months, you may not want to have your credit pulled now. You would want to wait. But if you want to gather some basic information and go through questions, that would be the first step. So I would say, if you feel comfortable, yes. If not, wait.
Okay, and wrapping this up real quick, because I know we're going to do a lot of different videos and topics and subjects to go over, and we're going to really break this down and dive in deeper. But just for a person that might be very private and says, why do they need to know my past 2 years of work history? Why do they need to know where I've lived? Why do they need to know every single detail? And sometimes it can get really frustrating. And I simply say, and I want you to add to this, hey, if you were going to loan somebody $200,000 of legitimate cash money, wouldn't you want to know as much as possible about that person? What can you also say on top of that, John?
Absolutely, and they look for, mainly are just looking for a pattern, of your history. They look at your credit history, your employment, history. If you're jumping around a lot from job to job, or you're jumping around, from house to house, and you don't have a real good, strong history, it's all risk factors, and the whole lending, industry is based on risk. So the higher the risk, the tougher time it's going to be to get a loan. The lower the risk, and if you can show that you're a low risk, type person, if you have a stable job that you've kept for years, if you've lived in the same place and you're not jumping around a lot, it definitely helps, strengthen your case is to get the money that you need to buy a home.
Mm-hmm. And so wrapping this up, let me just say this, as a consumer who's been in real estate for the past 9 years, Sarah and I just bought our house about 5 years ago, and having done this for so long, I have to confess that it was even nerve-wracking for me. Like, I was nervous, and it's almost like walking on eggshells, because it's the fear of the unknown. So I would just encourage anybody and everybody out there, if you're interested in buying a home or purchasing a property and you're feeling uneasy, that's a very natural feeling. And a lot of times, just taking that first step towards the home process and the mortgage, that information and education and finding out exactly where you stand, it gives you clarity, and then it gives you confidence. So, and you'll be talking to people just like John. I mean, John, you and I have become good friends, and man, they don't get any more real and more natural than you. So, I know there's some mortgage lenders out there that wear the three-piece suit and are very professional, and John can be that for you if that's what you're looking for. But if you're looking for just a regular person, that's got a family and living the regular life here in Jacksonville, John, that's how you do business, right? I mean, so it doesn't have to be.
I fully understand at the end of the day that it's your home and not my loan, and that if you take that approach, a lot of people in the industry, I've been around a lot of loan officers, they're in it for the commission, they're in it for the quick paycheck, and they look at it as just another loan. They don't look at it, I truly look at this is a very big decision for you, your family. It's a very important decision. It's likely a place you're going to live at for quite a few years, and I take pride in walking you through the process, so it's not that intimidating, so it's not that scary. It can be a very smooth, simple process if you have the right person, basically holding your hand, so to speak, and walking you through the process and really caring if you really get into a house that you can really afford.
Yep, I love it. Okay, perfect. So, John, real quick, what's your email and phone number? And I'm also going to list your information below this video for people to get in touch with you if they just have some initial questions, right? And you're not looking to take people's applications immediately. I mean, you're open to have conversations and just ask questions for anyone. Is that right?
Absolutely. I meet a lot of people face to face. They feel more comfortable face to face or over the phone, even these video chats. You know, and a lot of people just have basic questions. They're renting. They're not. Their lease isn't up for another 6 months to a year. Obviously, they're not looking to break their lease, but they want to know what steps to take. Maybe if your credit's a little, if you think your credit's a little shaky, and you want to know what steps you can take to get on the proper path, I can walk you through that. I've pulled thousands of credit reports. I've looked at everything. I know what the bureaus are looking for. So if you're just looking to get on the right track so you can qualify when you're ready, I can put you on that path. I plan to be doing loans 6 months from now, a year from now, 2 years from now. So it doesn't have to be something you want to start immediately.
Okay, perfect. How can we get in touch with you, man?
Absolutely. My number is 904-535-6538, and my email address is john.owen, OWEN, @movementmortgage.com.
Perfect. And if I'm out of state and I see this video on YouTube, I can still get in touch with you. You can help me, and then you can recommend another trusted referral in somebody else's local market. Is that right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Excellent, man. Okay, everybody. Hey, we're going to be bringing a lot of these videos of education to you. So if you have any specific questions you want John and I to address, then just list those in the comments below or send us an email. We'll also have our contact information below. And I'm really excited for all the videos and content that we're going to bring at you. So thanks so much, John. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. Talk to you soon.